Welcome everyone. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. We'll go ahead and begin the meeting. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. All right. So I do need a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. At this point, do we have any public input? Is there anyone here that would like to?
Have a letter if you could pass that down.
Is Mary Kemp here? Please come on up.
First, congrats to all the Timberlake students. That's super exciting. So dear Board of Trustees, my name is Mary Kemp and I am a Garwood parent, and I work with local youth in several roles in our community. Because of this, I have the privilege of working with many families across our district in many aspects, and I care deeply about the future for our youth. When my family purchased our home back in 2020, it was very important that we attended the Garwood Elementary. After a long search, we found a home in the Brookshire development that was zoned for Garwood. However, for 2 consecutive years, our neighborhood was considered for rezoning due to capacity concerns. Although Brookshire ultimately remained at Garwood, many families in the Majestic Park area were moved, and that decision was difficult for that community. To avoid uncertainty, my family moved even closer, less than half a mile from Garwood and within the walking distance zone. It is very discouraging to hear that the district may potentially consider rezoning close distance families to a school that is more than 5 miles away from us. I understand that growth in our community creates challenges and difficult decisions. However, this is not a new issue. In the past few years that my family has been a part of this district, rezoning discussions have come up multiple times. These boundary change decisions and action items create instability and stress for our families. Our community needs a long-term solution, possibly broader and more impactful zoning adjustments for all schools that create longer stability for the future. Our families deserve predictability, thoughtful planning, and transparency. I respectfully ask the board to prioritize long-term solutions that minimize disruption for existing families while responsibly addressing our district's continued and exponential growth. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we will go ahead and receive this letter. It'll go with the minutes. Okay. Moving on, we will go into the Trust Awards.
Board Chair Thompson, Board of Trustees, Superintendent Taylor. My name is Ryan Eberlin, and I proudly serve as a Timberlake principal. I've been in that role for 9 years, and honestly, every day is a blessing. Tonight, we have students that I chose to be here who exemplified trust. And for us at Timberlake, a lot of that is integrity and doing the right thing all of the time, not just when you're at school, but when you're competing for Timberlake or in the community. These students do that, and their parents and families are unbelievable people. So I'm very honored to stand up here and be able to present these students to you. I'm going to go ahead and start with our freshman class. I chose 1 boy and 1 girl from each class, which was hard enough because we have a lot of exceptional students. But these students are phenomenal. So the first one that I'd like to introduce you to is Lily Ward. He's coming up here. So Lily has a really great sense of humor. She's a positive role model. For being a freshman, she's quite the leader already in the building. She's part of our student leadership. She likes to snowboard in her spare time. She was on our basketball team that just finished third at state, and she was also an all-state selection as a freshman on the soccer team. So she's had a pretty good freshman year so far. So Lily, good job and keep it up. Our next student tonight is Eli Royce. Eli is also a freshman, and a couple things about Eli you should know is he does not back down from a challenge, any kind of challenge. But he's on our cross-country team, and they finished third this year, and he was a big part of that. And if you know anything about the cross-country runners, they run hundreds of miles all the time, even this time of year. So it's pretty impressive. He's also participating in track and field right now. He's the kind of kid that doesn't sit still, so during the school day, as I'm walking around, he's moving, he's positive, kids look up to him. So let's hear it for Eli. Next, we have Parker Cathy. Parker is hardworking and determined. He certainly leads by example. He likes to wrestle. He wrestles in club, he wrestles for the school. He recently was 5th place at state and has participated in our leadership program at Timberlake. What stands out to Parker, for me about Parker is we're at the doors every morning, and Parker every single day says good morning, and not always do you get a how are you doing back, but it's always how you doing. So that stands out to me, and I have no doubt that he's always doing good work behind the scenes. So thanks, Parker. Next we have Addie Archer. Addie, the first thing that comes to mind with Addie is she's helpful. She's very selfless. I feel like she would do anything for anybody before she would for herself. She's very talented. If there's anything involving athletics, she could step right in and contribute any sport, anytime, and not just as an athlete, but as a really good human. She plays volleyball. Are you doing track and field this year? Track and field. She was on our basketball team that just got 3rd place, and in club track she does the heptathlon. So she's very active, not only at Timberlake, but also outside of school. And she's very positive every single day. Today, as a matter of fact, we were at a career fair at the school, and this adult said, "Hey, go get a shirt." And you could tell she just wanted to get back to class, but she's like, "Okay." And it was just a good example of she'll step up and do what she's asked to do, and she's a great kid. So great job, Addie. All right, next student on here is Lola Eggleston. I actually thought Lola was a senior all year this year. And so I was ecstatic when she's reminded me 5 times that she's a junior, because she is hilarious. And I must make really bad dad jokes because she lets you know. And so I do appreciate that honesty. I find that she's extremely witty, just can make a joke out of anything that better than I can. She was on our cross-country state championship team this year, and she was a huge part of that. She's been in leadership at Timberlake, track and field right now, and she loves to hike and do anything outside, road trips and yoga as well. So I'm really happy that she's only a junior, because that means we get another year with her, and she's awesome. Lola. I have a similar story to the next one. Micah DePutter, come on up. Actually, Micah came to us, and I called him Ben for like 6 months. And finally realized when I went to call home one day that that's his dad's name. So he never once corrected me, which I thought was really nice. But I would best describe him as a kind person. He's very family oriented, and he certainly has a group that gravitates towards him at Timberlake. He's a leader. He doesn't have a ton to say, but it's just all his actions are positive and what you want to see. He's a member of the cross-country team, track and field. He did soccer for a year, and he takes dual credit classes at Timberlake High School. So he's got a lot going on and a bright future. So good job, Micah. All right, our last two are seniors. I'll go with Josh Yeager first. Josh is a funny guy. I've enjoyed him. I wish he was only a junior because it's been a great 4 years with him at Timberlake. Freshman year all the way through, not one negative interaction from myself or any staff members, and I doubt any students. When I called him down for this, I probably shouldn't tell the school board this, but I ended up talking to him for like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm gonna miss this guy. He's very encouraging to everybody. There's not one person they wouldn't encourage. He has great energy, he's friendly. And today at that career fair, I saw he got connected with a construction guy, which is what he wants to do in the future, so that's very cool. Cross country, track and field, a big part of community service with the cross country team. And he also wanted me to say that he feels strongly that God has blessed him. And so let's hear it for Josh. All right, and last up we have Malia Miller. All right, well I think I met Malia when she was in first or second grade because Malia would be at Timberlake High School before 6 o'clock every morning shooting. And so it's easy to describe her, hardworking.
Shooting a basketball.
Shooting a basketball. Thank you. Shooting a basketball.
Thank you for the clarification.
So, seeing her grow up, and she's kind of the definition of grit and determination. She has been named the Basketball Player of the Year for 3A and for the state of Idaho. She's been North Idaho Athlete of the Year. She's part of the Student Advisory Council for the IHSA, which is a huge deal. She goes to principal meetings, meets with ADs and principals all around the state. She represents not only Timberlake, but all students, which is a big deal and a big responsibility. She's been a part of basketball, soccer, cross country, track and field, golf, and so she's stayed plenty busy and is our valedictorian this year. So she has kept her plate full, and she's been a great part of Timberlake, and for that we thank her. All right, thank you guys.
Thank you. Mr. Avon.
Congratulations again, Timberlake High School students. You make us proud. If you would like to stay, you may. If you would like to leave, you can depart right now. So have a wonderful evening. Safe drive home, okay? Mr. Evelyn, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You can't leave. I know.
Good job.
Mr. Miller, congratulations.
Thank you. Perfect.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you for coming. Thank you.
They just switched. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's not. Oh yeah, it's not really my place to invite because both is, but it was two people's trip originally, and then Lincoln. They invited Lincoln, and Lincoln invited us. So I'm not Yeah, Mike, I really wanted him to say Humble Michael as the introduction.
Love you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good one, you guys.
Thank you.
Actually, it's a legit one. So it's okay, but.
No, that's funny. Coming from a sailor.
Are you president?
I know.
Yeah, president.
Okay, so we'll move, what's that? Is she coming back? Can you find it?
No.
Uh-oh.
My mom lost our phone.
Oh, no.
It's in the car.
Oh, she sent her back in to look for it?
Yeah, I'm not gonna go back in there.
All right, so we'll move on to our action items. First up is to appoint the clerk of the board. I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we appoint Sarah Berdarius.
Second.
Good motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Moving on to appoint the district custodian of records. I'll entertain a motion.
Again, I move to appoint Sarah.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. I was waiting for the last name, but I got the second.
Oh, well, I didn't have to clarify the second time.
No, I suppose you didn't. Moving on to approve the THS and LHS valedictorian and salutatorian, but however we say it.
Move to approve both.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Okay, moving on to the LHS instructional minutes change and final exam schedule change. It was brought to my attention that they needed to alter the calendar time. And because we had approved the final schedule and there was going to be changes to that, the changes asked for only at LHS, THS would remain on the same schedule that we approved prior. Wish I got the one.
I don't know. It said my signature card was removed or something. Oh, it was a download. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Sudden
You good?
unexpected things.
Okay. Yeah, mine pops up with fun stuff. So do we have any conversation that we need to hold on LHS's short instructional hours?
And this is just for seniors, right?
No.
The instructional hours is for the high school. The final exam schedule is for the final exams.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We initially approved the 3 days. They have to make the instructional minutes. They have to narrow it down to 2 days that they go full-time and then 1 half day. And then they've also added 1 minute in their, or taken away 1 minute in their passing period, and they have to extend the day by 1 minute. So, and if they do this, they meet all the instructional hours. Perfect.
And apparently they, it was told to me that the reason they're in this position is they chose to remove the 0 hour, but Timberlake did not. They're still running with a 0 hour. So do we need to have any conversation on this?
I'm good.
No, I'm good. I'll move to approve it as
Second.
presented.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Moving on to the LEA request to begin negotiations. I know at our last meeting, this was brought up as part of the IBB, but we do need to approve the request to enter into negotiations. So I asked that it be brought back as an action item. And the language was revisited and revised to enter into negotiations, not interest-based bargaining. At my request. Do we need to have any conversation or discussion on this?
Nope.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move to approve as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Moving on to the UPS battery backups and network switch project bids.
It's on page 2 now.
Go away. Not a fan.
I couldn't hear you, I'm sorry.
You're just,
No, just reading.
Oh, I didn't know she was here.
oh, she
Yeah.
is.
Hello, Jessica.
Hello.
So Jessica, is there a reason this didn't come before us before, that it's coming to us now?
Just a oversight, just a complete oversight, the timing of it, that it went out. We had some other things going on at that same time with the board meeting and I just missed it.
Okay. Do you know who all the vendors were that this bid was submitted to? It wasn't published, apparently?
It was published, it was published through the E-rate website, so we didn't have to publish in the paper on this one because the publication was taking place through them. So there was
Okay.
no cost to the district for publication, and it was also advertised on the district website.
So we didn't necessarily distribute to multiple vendors, we just put it on the website, correct? I mean,
And on
the
the E-rate site,
yeah, the E-rate site?
yeah.
Okay. Do we need to have any conversation on this?
To bring me up to speed would probably take a week. I wasn't, this was obviously things that were part of another program that's been talked about, or? You know.
Well, the way I'm understanding this is the IT department needs battery backups and network switches. And because, I mean, it's up in the price range, we're supposed to give permission for that to go out for bid.
Okay.
That step was skipped simply
So
due
this
to
is their
timing.
request.
Right, well, they've already sent it out for bid, and what it's come back with is that for the battery backups, it's gonna cost, the contract will be $51,372.71, and then the network switches will be $117,316.63. And that they're asking us to approve that, the contract to go to Ednetics, who we use consistently, and we use them kind of for everything. But we will be getting, I believe, 60%
Refunded.
of this back, and then the remaining dollars will be covered through the state technology grant that we receive. So it's no cost or impact on our general fund,
And it's equipment that's needed.
apparently.
We're told.
Don't know what it's needed for. I know what battery backups are,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure about these network switches.
Well,
But they need them.
The whole
so.
network,
So,
everything.
the network,
Go ahead, Jess.
The network switches are a multi-gig capable network switch that allows our existing wireless access points to operate at faster speeds.
Okay.
These switches will be deployed throughout the district at locations with centralized network infrastructure.
Okay. Is this something we currently have and needs to be replaced, or is this something new we're adding?
It is something that we have that needs to be replaced.
Okay. That's what I thought, but I wasn't sure.
Yep. Same thing with the battery backups. They just have passed their useful life and need to be replaced.
Okay.
Okay.
Does that make sense? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
does it bring you up to speed?
Yeah.
Just a little bit, okay.
Thank you.
Well done.
Sure.
Very good.
So on that note,
I
I'll
mean,
enter
I read through the whole thing.
the 77 pages.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
My eyes are almost
Yeah.
straight now. Okay.
Did you get some good rest?
No.
Okay. So on that note, if there's no discussion that needs to be had, I'll entertain a motion on this.
Move to approve.
One second.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Moving on to the plant facilities levy. So we have the resolution that was prepared apparently by Holly Troxel. I would like to point out that throughout the resolution, they are calling us the joint school district, not the Lakeland Joint School District, so that would need to be corrected.
I can get that updated if
Okay.
it is.
If you have the Word format, I'm sure you could just add the actual school name in there.
Yep, I can absolutely do that.
But it's throughout, they just keep referring to us as the Joint School District number 272.
Yep, no problem.
So shall we have conversation on this?
I don't know how much, I mean,
My apprehension is just that we have had no input on the $3 million, where it's going to go, if that's even sufficient, if it's too much. I mean, there was no inclusion on that. So that's just my reservation.
mhm.
And because the push is to put this on the May ballot, we are up against a time dilemma.
Well, and Jess, when does this have to go to
Next
be to the
Friday.
county? Next Friday.
Next Friday.
March 13th.
Yeah. Oh, yep. I knew it was somewhere. The fortunate thing with the plant and facilities levy is we can change, yes, they gave us an outline of the things that would likely be purchased or what should be purchased
Right.
with each year's $3 million. Unlike the supplemental levy, we don't have to, and the ballot language doesn't specify where it has to be spent.
Right,
Obviously, we're gonna
correct.
spend it appropriately on
Right.
plant and facility.
Right.
Approved items.
I do believe the board had requested a workshop on this, which we've done in the past with our previous plant facility levies. I know Facilities Director Tim Peggy and myself would be 100% would love that input and that guidance. We did put this together following the 10-year plan that was put together for the school modernization funds with some additional projects added that we know that weren't part of that, like the tracks and things like that at the high schools.
How did we determine that 3 million would be sufficient for a 5-year span for maintenance?
It's enough money that it allows us to do some pretty major projects. Each year, the previous ballot, or the previous plant facility levy that expired last June, was only $1,046,000.
Right.
And it just wasn't quite enough year over year to actually get major capital improvements done. And so that's where that $3 million came in at that point in time. Again, because it is something that we're trying to do this year, we went back and forth between 2 million to 3 million. We just felt like 3 million might be palatable, for a lack of a better term, to our taxpayers, our community, and being able to show the projects that we're hoping to complete with that, with the board's input and approval, obviously, to really show why it's needed. $1 million's just not quite enough to get anything major done.
No, I understand that. I just was curious what the methodology was to coming up with that. And it sounds like we just sort of maybe considered doubling what we had, a little bit more than double.
And there was a little bit more to it because we were looking at the projects that we were hoping to accomplish, trying to keep a realistic timeline of what can be accomplished each summer, because that's really the bulk of the time that we have to do major construction projects. So a lot of that was really focused on what can we accomplish each year, and then building in some contingency for, building furniture, and, the operational department buildings sometimes need some work that we don't typically get to handle through like school modernization funds and things like that. So just keeping those projects in mind, having a contingency if a boiler goes down, there's money to use other than fund balance of the general fund. So yes, the $3 million does seem kind of arbitrary, but when you look at it through the lens of what we can accomplish without having to go out to a major bid or something like that, that's the dollar amount that we really kind of settled on to be effective as a district.
Okay. Thank you for the information.
We also gathered, just to confirm, and Tim, we also gathered information from our principals that were projects that they felt that was important to add to this list. So we used that information to help compile this list. So we did get feedback from our principals in regards to their facility sites and what we could do to what they felt were their priorities. And they also gave us some wish lists too. But they also listed, hey, look, this is serious. We need to address that. So there was a lot of collaboration on this list. Obviously, we were really look forward to the board's input too.
Well, we weren't given the list tonight. We were just given the resolution language. So
we did provide you the list
at the last board meeting. Yeah.
Okay.
I just meant we're not looking at that.
Included on this one as well.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Madam Chair. Appreciate it.
I'm trying to remember what the impact to tax dollars was on this.
It says $30 per 100,000. Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, you're good, Jess. We can't see you. You can't see us. It's all good. We can hear you. You're the voice in the sky. Would this, if we were to go out for this and the levy were to pass, would the offset that the state provides hit this first before hitting the supplemental levy? Or,
yes, that is correct.
Okay, so this would supersede the supplemental levy for reduction and then hit the supplemental? Yep. Okay.
Yeah, so it goes bonds, plant facility levy, and then supplemental levy. And then if there's anything left after that, we can put it in Fund 435, which we don't currently have because we don't have anything left.
Okay, do you recall what the rate is on the supplemental levy per 100,000?
It's $1.09, I believe.
Okay.
Is that with or without the?
That is without the school facilities fund, which is that property tax relief offset.
So the property tax relief would basically eliminate this at $3 million.
Potentially. So
Right.
the thing that we're being cautioned of at the state level is although sales tax revenue is staying pretty steady, there's some other pots of money that get transferred into that school facilities fund that provides that property tax relief. So although we received $4 million for that this year, it's going to be probably closer to 1, maybe 2 at the highest million next year. So we won't receive as much property tax relief. I have some plans to work with our communications person to get some of that information out once we know what the amounts are and try to help educate that even though your property tax rate will appear higher next year on your bill, it's not because we're levying more, it's just because we don't have any guarantee over the amount that we get from the state each year because it fluctuates.
Right.
Be proactive with the education limit, so I hopefully won't get as many phone calls in November when tax bills go out.
I guess the advantage to the taxpayer, if they were to choose to support this and pass it, then the more costly tax would be credited off, and the $1.09 would.
Exactly, yeah.
Not sure what that means.
What do you mean? What we're talking about?
Yeah, the more costly will be credited off,
Well, because this one is sitting at $30 and potentially $30.24 per $100,000
Okay.
as opposed to the $1.09 per 100,000.
okay.
So whatever the tax, the school, what is it called? It's not the school modernization
School
fund,
facilities.
but,
Yeah. It's a school facilities fund.
Yep.
okay. So the school facilities fund, tax credit goes against whatever levies, bonds, or anything that we have. We currently have no bonds, we've paid them all off. So we just have the supplemental levy, which helped offset the tax dollars this go round for taxpayers. So instead of the 7.52 million, we ended up with, the taxation was on 3.52 million because we took the 4 million off the tax bill.
Okay.
Okay, and so now if we add another 3 million to that 7.5, which they're two different bills, that 3 million will be attacked first with school facilities monies. I don't know why I can't think of the name. But, so say we get 4 million, then that 3 million would offset the plant facilities levy. So there would be no tax impact to the taxpayer, but that 7.52 would then go down to 6.52 that they would be taxed on at $1.09 or $2 or whatever it was per 100,000. So it would be more, but at a lesser rate.
More or less.
Than the 30 per 100,000. Does
More
that make
lesser.
sense? More lesser, yes, it would be more lesser.
Oh, I understand.
So that's what we're talking about at the moment.
Can I correct myself? I'm so sorry.
Sure.
I was thinking back to the 2023 levy, and it was $1.09 per $1,000. This one is $82.37 per $100,000.
Okay.
$10.90.
I had to pull up the ballot language because as you said that, I'm like, nope, I said that wrong. So I apologize for that, but it's $82.37 per $100,000 for the supplemental levy that was passed in May of 25.
Okay.
I was gonna say,
So-
math wasn't mathing in my head.
It wasn't mapping for me as soon as I heard it out loud. I'm like, no, I said that
No.
wrong.
Yeah, because we're
How
asking for more
can
money.
7.52 equate to $1
Yeah,
when
this is-
3 million equates to $30.
Okay.
We did the 2023 one, it was $1.09 per hundred, or per thousand, not
Per thousand.
100,000.
Okay.
So,
Common Core math.
Well, that's a
is just an
bummer.
approximation.
So then taxes would go up
Mhm.
if this one supersedes it and they pay the lesser amount for off first.
Well, it's going to go, I mean,
Either way,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
fluctuating, as always.
that's the one difficult thing with the property tax relief is because we don't know the dollar amount until August each year. It's really difficult to be able to even try to guess where we're gonna land.
Right.
Well, I would rather not really consider it in the decision.
I agree.
Because it's coming off of one or the other, so if it's coming off of this as opposed to that, we're still raising,
Property
it's
tax.
still $3 million increase to property taxes,
True.
from property taxes.
Well, I mean, allowing it to go on the ballot and letting the taxpayer determine.
Yeah, I just think 3 million is a lot more than what I think a lot of our constituents will be willing to approve. So I would feel better about not going with 3 million.
What do you think would be a sufficient amount? Because we're being told that the 1.47 or 49.
Wasn't quite enough, but
Right.
we more than doubled it if it wasn't quite enough.
Since you're here, Tim.
Tim Haig, Facilities Director. Yeah, so I did a pretty comprehensive breakdown, and I ended up at 2 million, but as we sat down and actually put numbers to years and schools to years over the 5-year period, it could go 3 to 5 million. And one of the major parts of that is we have 11 schools, and they each have a roof.
Right.
And each one of those roofs, we'll just say $1 million for a roof. So the way we had planned this is that we would have roof funds, because you're gonna have to replace these roofs every 30 years. Which seems like a long time, but that's one every 3 years
Right.
for 11 schools. So as you set money aside for that, now you can have a rotation so that every 3 years, the roofs are getting updated. Now Lakeland High School this year is gonna get majority of their roof done as part of the modernization funds.
Right.
Lakeland Middle School will get the gym done as part of the modernization funds, but the rest of the schools, 3 years from now, we're gonna have to start looking at repairs, things like that. The other things that we had put into consideration, we did get feedback from the principals. Timberlake, for example, has weeds growing up through their track. There's really no fix for that. I mean, we can kill weeds, we can spray stuff on them, but eventually it's deteriorating, if I'm saying that correctly. Lakeland High School, their track is starting to fall apart as well.
We just did it.
They just redid it, yep, and I did I walked it with Tim Kiefer, and he was showing me some of the really problemed areas. And it really comes down to, and Jessica probably test more of this than I can, but it was before my time, but the guys who did the work have had problems in other school districts as well. Unfortunately, it's some of the work was shoddy, and probably some of the base material was shoddy, which just means the longevity.
Workmanship to a point, but the problem is we need to relay the asphalt base.
Yeah, the
on those
foundation's
tracks.
the issue.
Yeah. So you lay rubberized material over cracked asphalt or deteriorating asphalt, it's going to bleed through. So some of the other things that we're looking at, luckily we're taking care of John Brown this year with the modernization funds. We're getting a lot of the HVAC done in the buildings with the modernization funds. However, Lakeland High School, for example, are getting new rooftop units, but their main boiler inside the building is, we just got a report the other day, it's got 1 to 3 years life. We just replaced Twin Lake Elementary, but then we've got units that are in some of the older schools that are gonna have to be redone. So we really did dig deep into what we could foresee. In 5 years, I could probably spend a lot more than 15 million on the schools, just because of the deferred maintenance over year. There's flooring, there's, some of the schools have mismatched paint all through them. A lot of it's cosmetic, or not a lot of it, but some of it's cosmetic, a lot of it is structural. It's just things at this level or this, size of building get very expensive. So I took the recommendations from the principals. I built it out into a spreadsheet, and I priced out on average what things would cost for each one of those items. We got a grand total on all that. We kind of split it up between year for year and which building, so that we weren't just focused on one building. We would go from one to the other and spread it around. And that's how we landed at 3.
Okay.
And of course, all the buildings will be synchronized when they need things on schedule, right?
That's what I would like, well, the roofs.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. We think about it as homeowners, you have a 20, 30-year roof, you don't start saving for it until you're about 5 years out and realize that it's going to be an issue. We deal right now, Timberlake High School's got roof leaks that we're dealing with. We're patching them back. I was up on Lakeland High School yesterday drilling core samples, and there's so much goop in certain areas that it's just, somebody went up there with a bucket of goop, thought, well, there's a leak somewhere here, I'm just going to coat it.
The whole thing.
The problem never gets fixed. There's water behind it. We had the roof scanned. There's actually liquid under the TPO that's been there for I don't know how long, but water will find a way, it deteriorates out. So yeah, it's just kind of trying to get things back where I would like to see the district go into the future, is to be more of on a preventative maintenance schedule. Another prime example is water shutoff valves. So I can go over and work on a bathroom at the middle school. I got to shut the whole wing down, or wait for spring break, Christmas break, or a non-student day. But if we just put a couple isolation valves in certain key areas, but it costs money. And then with the modernization funds this year, my department's been utilizing the interest off of the modernization funds to just try to keep things going. And as we spend the money this summer, we're going to lose a lot of that interest. So next year is going to be a tough year, unless we were able to pass the bag. I guess it's on the board to decide dollar amount, but it's definitely taxpayer. We got to kind of let them know what's going on. So we've been taking a lot of pictures too, so that we can show things that are dilapidated and time to replace.
It's just too bad that we don't have but 2 months before this goes on the ballot to educate. That's,
You're absolutely
the fact that
correct.
this is coming to us in March is frustrating.
Remember in Hauser, when I was out walking the precinct to run for office, I had people saying, I'm not going to vote for the fire levy. Well, it's a volunteer fire department and they need equipment. And people in $1 million homes were going, I'm not going to pay for that. So there's a lot of attitude.
Yeah.
And then there's people that can't, that are going to have struggles paying even that much.
Thank you.
Well, if we don't do
But if
something,
you
then
don't-
it's gonna go back to the way
Right.
it was, and
Right.
so.
You can never get on top of it if you don't do something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a long-term, when I lived in Spokane Valley, the city council there, well, the street department set up a schedule. They'd repave a street, and a certain number of years later, they would go fill the cracks, and then they would go back and they would do major fills, and then they would, they knew exactly when they were going to replace that street, and they would go all the way down to the roadbed and fix it. And then they had a certain number of years where it was gonna hold up. And you haven't had sounds like you haven't had enough years to have gotten that.
No, but I worked in the paving industry,
Yeah.
doing major highways, so I understand
The
that.
roof isn't any different.
The roof is very
Except it doesn't have as
similar.
much traffic.
Correct. But plumbing and electrical are the same.
Yeah.
We have old pipes. I got a bathroom over at Lakeland High School that pipes broke under the building somewhere because it's bringing dirt back up through the urinals. And there's nothing I can do about it right now. There's ways to fix it, but I'd rather not tear
Doing
up
it.
the whole
Yeah.
floor.
Was it Mike Holmes says do it right?
Exactly.
I'm just surprised that we're having to revisit roofs because for 4 years, we were redoing everyone's roof. And now you're saying we need to redo them all again?
Not now.
I know I'm kind of
That's
I'm
awful.
planning
still in my
for the future is what I'm doing.
Well,
Because we
and,
have to get them on a schedule.
roofs.
right, and I respect that. I just know that I thought we were on a schedule, that we made it through all of them, but now you're telling us that Lakeland High School's getting re-roofed, which, I was just trying to look for that document that we had been presented with. It was a while ago, it was before you.
Right, and from my understanding, that
Full
one's
roof matrix.
been, well, Lakeland High School is a matrix because each roof was done on a different year and there's
Right.
12 different, 10 different roofs there.
And some of the roofing projects weren't full re-roofs, they were just patchbacks in some of them. So some of the ones that were done in 2018, 2019 were not a full roof replacement.
How old is your
Okay.
roof?
If I remember correctly, it was like only John Brown that had actually,
Well, there was John Brown,
Yeah.
Betty Kiefer, Garwood, but I don't remember.
and
I
maybe
mean,
those are the ones that aren't having issues right now because we're having issues everywhere
Well, and
else.
Twin Lakes had, because they didn't get the warranty on the roof,
Mhm.
so we had to shell out all the money for a new roof there. Alrighty.
It's definitely a big decision of,
Trustee Bain,
yes.
I believe you talked about a $2 million mark.
Mm-hmm.
If we were to go to a $2 million levy, it would be $20.16 per 100,000.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Dave?
I just don't want to see all the progress we've made go backwards. And maintenance doesn't even have a budget.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just day-to-day stuff.
Just operational cleaning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's either go forward and keep going, trying to fix up the buildings and,
And pray to God that this levy goes through.
you know.
Right.
I think that's my hard thing is like,
well,
is
up
it
to
gonna
the
go through
voters.
for 3 or should we reduce it and increase the potential that it does go through? I mean, would dropping it $1 million,
I don't think it would matter.
you don't think so? Okay, I will move to approve $3 million levy
Second.
as presented.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I'm sorry, Board Chair Thompson, this is a resolution, it's roll call vote.
Oh,
Okay.
thank you, you're right.
Thank you, good catch.
So we
Can I
have,
make,
Hey, new clerk.
go
I
ahead.
have one more thing. Do you want to make the change to the resolution that it states Lakeland Joint School District? I didn't know if you needed to have that verbiage in there.
In the,
With the corrections.
yeah, with the corrections.
Okay.
So you modified your,
And I'll
All right,
second
so we
that.
have a motion to approve the resolution with the modification to changing joint school district number 272 to Lakeland Joint School District 272. And we have a second on that. We need a roll call vote.
Trustee Bain?
Yes.
Trustee Broadhead?
Yes.
Trustee Thompson?
Yes,
Trustee Quimby?
Yes.
Thank you.
you're welcome.
thank you, both.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
All right,
Mm-hmm.
You got work to do.
Bus.
Down bus, we'll
bust rumps to get this passed now.
Yeah, this can't get up
All
there.
right, moving on to the discussion items. We need to choose a date for a possible expulsion hearing.
I am not here or in town first The first full week of April, so beginning the day after Easter, I am out.
Based on the date schedule so far, it would need to be between the dates of March 13th and March 24th.
Oh, so we're coming up, like,
Yeah.
gotcha, sooner, okay.
24th.
Yes.
Yeah, so,
Between when and the 24th?
The 13th and 24th.
would we be able to do it on Monday, the 16th?
Yeah, I think that's fine
I'm
for me.
Okay. Monday, the 16th,
Okay.
at 6 PM. Then we need
Is
to.
that when policy, oh, no.
Yeah,
policy
it's,
At what time?
it's still not back on the agenda yet.
Oh, that's
It's still
right, that's
paused.
right, I forgot
At
it was
6?
paused.
At 6 PM, yes, please. Oh, I should.
16th at 6 p.m.
Okay. Then we also need a date for the facilities workshop, for the board to review the projects intended for the plant facility levy, should it pass.
Cart before the horse.
Do you think it would be more appropriate to schedule this workshop after
After we know
whether or not it passes?
the results?
Yeah.
Probably.
Historically, we've done it in July.
Okay.
Okay, so we've
So,
got some time out there.
We can set this aside and revisit it after May. Would that
Okay.
be?
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sarah, for jotting that down. Okay, the April 1st board meeting, April Fools, is on spring break. Do we intend to hold a meeting?
It's a special meeting.
No. Oh, yes, it is.
That would be the special
That is
meeting,
special
so we
meeting.
can just say.
Okay,
no.
so we'll not hold on April 1st?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's my grandma's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Grandma.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and delete that, so I know, yes, just this event. Thank you. All right, moving on to the OWL meeting recording system. Sarah brought this to my attention, and I wanted to bring it to all of your attention, because we have had historically problem after problem with the audio and the video. I don't know if anyone had a chance to look at it. I realize this isn't something we should probably jump on the bandwagon like tomorrow to buy, but I think the system is dynamic, and I think it would benefit our community if people could hear us and see us and know who's talking and what they're saying and all of that. So
is this one that you're familiar with because you've used it previously?
I have not gotten to use it, but I know of others who have, and it's
Okay.
a very plug and play as much as it can be. And they have systems that are built specifically for the room setup that you guys are utilizing currently.
Okay.
And what I liked is that when someone's speaking there, it would talk, it would look at them. And then when we're talking, it would look at each one of us.
Magic
and-
whiteboard.
Yeah, it would.
Where you go transparent.
I just thought that it would be, because it's something we have been asking for years.
A better system, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
and we just keep getting either a camera or, we did get these microphones, which are better and an improvement from our little circle guy, but this is actually something that I think would be hugely beneficial if we're going to continue.
Great. Time for an oil change.
Down this path for,
Okay.
audio visual. So we could potentially revisit this. When do you think we could revisit it, maybe make a decision of what we want to do?
We can request it in the budget.
Oh, excellent. So let's put this on for maybe April? Okay, we'll put it in for April. Next discussion item is a zone change for schools. Possible zone changes for Garwood Elementary. Twin Lakes Elementary and John Brown Elementary. Conversation on this.
I really have to agree with our public input parent that I'm not in favor of
Displacing.
doing this
Again.
a little bit every year. I would, this is more of a project I would rather see done as a
I think there has
a district-wide.
Yeah.
Well, I just think that with everything that is,
Why can't we do some kind of moving system inside the district where, like, she's already in the school, so you would take people coming in and move them to a different school, because I'm just saying, look at it as a whole thing instead of, you know.
Then we end up with
Upheaving.
stupid little pockets like Brookshire ended up, and that's
Yeah.
well, that was just, well.
another
That was
Band-Aid
poor
though.
planning
That
to
was-
begin
And the
with.
buses drive around for half an hour, an hour.
Yeah.
Trying to get-
Just like some kind of grandfather thing, once you're in, you're in.
Well, when we did it the last time, there was a grandfather for those kiddos.
But then they
and-
rejected people,
I know
pissed them
that.
off,
I
and then
know.
they left,
Well,
so.
I know. We're not gonna please everybody, and I'm well aware of that. But I don't think it's advantageous for us to try and pass a levy, change the zones, and try to talk about a 4-day school week all the same year. I think that there will be a mutiny. But I'm not for the zone change, given that we just did it, and if we didn't do it well, then we're just gonna keep making the same, give a little here, give a little here, give a little here. And I don't think it's fair for those that are buying into our community that they're told, oh, you're zoned for this school, and then we come along and say, not anymore. So there needs to be a better plan with how we're, I mean, we just did Garwood and Twin Lakes. And John Brown.
Yeah. But we still have the issue, if we have capacity at Garwood at 97, if it continues to grow, we're going to be, and the board has supported small classrooms. Right now, we're sitting at 25 to 30 kids. And so I agree with you guys, I don't want to displace anybody. And then we have our newest elementary at 76%. That's going to continue just dwindle down. And I don't think that's an effective use of that facility. So we've done everything.
Well, prior to the last change, Twin Lakes was right on up there.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, so I don't think that you can fairly say that 76% is where Twin Lakes is consistently at. It's there because of the last changes we made.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, and where is the evidence, I guess, of that it's gonna continue dwindling down?
So we have no growth areas as we've presented to our parents in Twin Lakes at this projected growth areas. That could change, obviously. All of our growth is coming in the south, which is in Garwood's district. So that's, I guess, our biggest concern. I respect the board's listening to our public, and again, I don't want to displace anyone. I don't want to make any families unhappy, but I just, we're going to deal with the issue of now we've got overcrowding going on, and that's our only concern, really, that we just don't want to overcrowd Garwood. And when we have a very viable school that has 3 classrooms that are open and that we could use to, again, support the board's continual support of our small classrooms and good instruction.
But what would be the advantage of taking students from walking distance to the school and moving them to a whole different school where we now have to bus them?
So,
I mean, what's the advantage of that?
So in last year's proposal, that you're absolutely right. We were taking kids right across from the school, and the subcommittee, once we looked at that, that just didn't make good sense. So we added in the walking zone of 1.5. You know, any student parent's house that's in that walking zone of 1.5 would still continue to go to Garwood. We wanted to support that as the committee. And we didn't get quite enough numbers with that switch, because obviously we reduced our numbers down a little bit, but we were trying to be responsive to what the data we had last year. So then on top of it, option C is basically a combination of B, where we're including those walking zones of 1.5, leaving those kids where they're at with conditions in regards to those fourth graders, you know, being grandfathered in, allowed to come into their fifth grade year into Garwood, so we're not asking them to leave. And then finally trying to include those Deerfield parents. So, and they've been very supportive, to be honest with you. They would like to switch back from the feedback I've been given. We're just trying to be proactive. Yes, this is a lot of lifting, heavy lifting, but ultimately, as I wrote, it supports our Garwood kiddos, it supports our Twin Lake kiddos, it supports our district, again, and our support to be proactive and protect our kids when it comes to overcrowding and having the best instructional environment, which is not 25 to 30 kids. We have no room in that school. So we don't fix it this way or now, how will we fix it? And then we're going to be dealing with parents coming in here telling us that the school is overloaded, there's not good instruction going on. And we all know the data in regards to, because you guys support this, is the smaller classrooms, and we want to support it. And that was our why as a committee. We had open houses, we've given out notice, we've tried to be as transparent as possible, we've sent out sky alerts, we've tried to keep those parents informed as much as possible. Ms. Melton and her crew, her staff stayed each night to talk to those parents and make them feel more comfortable about this move. We've tried to do everything we can do to lower their anxiety and hopefully present, and not hopefully, for sure, present a very good option in this. And at this point too, after looking through our functional capacity, we have one other school that's lower and one other school that's higher, and that's Spirit Lake and Apple. But that would be if we're looking at taking more students that are out of district students. And to me, those are not guarantees. So at this point, our long-range committee will have further discussions, but beyond our high school, Lakeland High School, which is pretty full, and Lakeland Middle School, which is also well over capacity, I don't see any future changes at this point, but of course things could change quickly, and I think our job is to, as leaders, is to be insightful and try to project what it's going to be like for the future. And we had, not just me, we had multiple people in that room, we've got multiple feedback. So again, we've done our homework. We just don't, this is the best fix, and gives our kids the best option.
I'm a little cautioned by thinking it's a fix, simply because we just did this and it wasn't a fix. So I'm curious what we have determined with the new growth that is growing out on the prairie. Where are those students going? Are they going there? Are they going to Betty Kiefer? What are we doing with those? Are we To me, are we being proactive with the fact that we have these new developments going in and saying that these are new developments, so we're going to shift this way or we're going to shift that way, as opposed to just, well, we're just going to keep them in Garwood and then we're going to revisit this next year?
No, I would tell you right now, Betty Kiefer, their capacity is in about 80%. So we have some room for growth when it comes to that. And the growth is in Betty Kiefer and in Garwood. They are straddling the line, but again, from the projections that we've been given by the city, most of the growth is, like I say, it's going to happen in the Garwood district, and we're just trying to be proactive with that.
When people buy a home, they're told what district or what school their kids will go to.
Yes, sir.
Is there any way to get that changed so that they will say, your kids are going to go here?
It's
not
educating the
here.
realtors,
Yeah,
really,
but-
it is.
But is there any way to enforce that? Because there's false advertising if you have to move them.
True.
And get the state to go, hey, your license here, you got to tell them the truth.
Please know, as your superintendent, I never want to cause conflict or anything in the district. And to bring this to the board, the committee, I mean, they'd already done the work last year. And I understand that we changed it 2 years ago in June, from what I understand. And we've tried to do everything, to avoid that. That's why we're coming to the board here in March, early March, and then hopefully come back to the board, if the board chooses to, on March 18th to make a decision, so you guys can thoroughly talk to your constituents, get their information, and then hopefully, obviously, we'll take whatever the board decides at that point in time. But we've done our due diligence, and we did not short-sight anything. We tried to consider all of the options.
Are we doing anything with Timberlake Middle School?
Timberlake Middle School is another one that's very close to capacity. Yeah. At this point, we have 2 junior highs. One, Lakeland Middle School, I would tell you, is more concerned to me than at this point, just because we had such a big boom, 60, 70, 80 new kids.
Lakeland is sitting at 93.30%. Timberlake is sitting at 110.03%.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I told you that's what was my concern. And we're making it work the best we can, but we don't have a viable option.
That's the high school. So Lakeland Middle's at 91.26%, not 93.30. That's the high school. So you don't have a plan for Timberlake Middle at the moment, is that correct?
We don't have another middle school at this point well, we have a middle school, but the capacity in that middle school is pretty high at this point. Jake, go ahead.
Jake Massey, Assistant Superintendent. I just want to add a couple of thoughts here. The first is just an acknowledgement of the fact that we also understand that there's nothing that is fair about this, and we're not trying to pretend that it is. These are families who live very close to Garwood Elementary. They would be rezoned because of the new growth, exactly like Ms. Kemp stated earlier. That is the situation that we're in. My concern with looking at the whole district is that whenever we take a look at this rezoning plan between Garwood, Twin Lakes, and that small section from John Brown, it really does get at least all of our elementary schools to that target number. We want to make sure, to your previous point, Trustee Thompson, we want to make sure that both Betty Kiefer and Garwood have a little bit of wiggle room capacity, because that's where the growth is. We know that in the future we have that option to adjust the boundary line on Meyer between Garwood and Betty Kiefer. Right now, I don't think that we need to do that. We could look at that, but we wouldn't need to do it. And again, just to clarify, the reason why we're looking at this specific section by Garwood is because it is adjacent to Twin Lakes, it is in my mind just as much of a problem that we're underutilizing high-quality facilities. And it's a good solution for our transportation department as well. That is a clean bus route that would just go to Twin Lakes instead of Garwood. So to speak to the middle school, I know the last time we brought this up at the board meeting, we identified that those functional capacity numbers at Timberlake Middle School might not be inclusive of the portable classrooms that were added. Right now, I would say just anecdotally from being in the building frequently, both Timberlake Middle School and Lakeland Middle School are sitting about the same in terms of class sizes and crowding in their schools. But we understand that the spreadsheet needs to be updated.
Jacob.
So I'm curious, what didn't we get when we did this the last time, just a year or so ago? Because we obviously missed something.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, I think we didn't take a big enough chunk. We moved, the last time we rezoned, we moved about 86 kids out of Garwood to John Brown. And I don't mean to speak to the process because it was messy and that was too late in the game. All of those things aside, we moved 86 kids, we reduced the functional capacity. It was almost an identical situation and it took 3 or 4 years to get back up to functional capacity. And so candidly, I'm not sure how we get out of that cycle as long as we continue to have growth, but we're still faced with that same challenge. Historically, year over year, we see more houses built on the prairie. We see Garwood's enrollment go up. And I want to be very transparent. This actually is the first year since I've been in the district that it's stayed exactly the same at Garwood. But historically, it has grown. And even though we just did this, it is still a problem again. And so we also understand that this feels like we're coming back to the board all the time with this issue. And frankly, we understand that we are, but it doesn't change the circumstances that we're trying to do our best with.
And I do understand that. What I'm asking you is, what did we miss? I mean, we took those 86 kids, we moved them. So what are we looking at now that is different than what we looked at before that is maybe preventative, so we're not coming back again in another year when we've got 400 more houses built?
Yeah, I think the 400 more houses built is the key to understanding why this is a difficult thing to predict. I mean, if we had the type of district where we had really clean municipalities and a school right in the middle, it would be very easy, right? The reality is Garwood is our southernmost school on the east side of Meyer.
Well, we know we need a school out there. We just need the money for that school.
And so what's shifting year over year is where our population density is. That's just the matter of fact. And so I'm not really sure how to answer your question, Trustee Thompson, about what do we miss or what do we do differently, because we are just being responsive to where the people are. And right now they're not there yet. And 3 years ago, whenever we did this, Hayden Canyon wasn't there yet. But now they are, and we believe that we need to respond.
So basically, we'll just continue to be reactive to the growth.
Until we have more capacity in buildings in different locations, I'm not sure how to put it any other way.
Okay.
Or build a new school like you talk about, so that would free up some capacity, but.
Well, that's what Jake just said.
And it's important to me to be transparent about that, and I want you to know that was stated at both of our open houses. Like, we are not making any promises that we're not going to be having this conversation again, because we don't know where the growth is going to happen, and we know the likelihood and timeline of passing a bond, building a building is not something that can pace with the rate of these new homes coming in.
Right.
So we do not want to mislead anybody in thinking that there is a way that we can look at the whole district and come up with a different picture.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you, Jim. Appreciate it.
You're awfully quiet. Okay. Do we need to have further conversation on this?
This was just a discussion item,
It
right?
was,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Because if we don't, then we can move on to the 4-day school week.
I do not have anything else tonight.
Okay.
Although, I don't think it would be a bad idea to sit down with, I know that last year in the long-range planning committee, we sat down and did some work with the transportation director and her MAPS program and looked at a lot of that. I think that would be helpful for the board to have somebody from the transportation department come in and do a workshop with the board to see where those pockets are, where the kids are, and see if we can just identify maybe some other potential ideas as board members.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
or at least to get a better understanding.
No, I hear you.
As-
I do hear you. I just think that if we're not proactively anticipating of the houses that are being built, at least half of them having one child that's going to impact our district, then I'm just cautioned by that, because we should be. But I do think a workshop with transportation would be good. So Sarah, do you want to write that down, and then we'll revisit that
Coming
at
up.
some point in time?
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so moving on to the 4-day school week. We'll open it up for discussion.
So I did my own little research project on 4-day school week.
Okay.
And I looked at, I know these are extremely hard to read. I totally get it. It's more about the colors.
Okay. Color coding is
And
good.
I will send you guys the Excel documents. I didn't have
Okay.
time to do that before. But for right now, what I did, so that too is for Dave, that too is, I compared. I know. That's what I just said.
Oh, one's for me.
Yeah.
Just 2 pages
Yep.
for you, 2
Yep.
pages for me.
Yeah.
Got it.
So I compared start times with sunrise and sunset for the entire school year. These 2 pages, one page is December and one page is January. I compared, so the top section is what our current start and end times.
Okay.
The middle section is option A in the proposed
Okay.
options, and the bottom section is option B. So the yellow being,
Sunlight.
no, the yellow, I wish. Unfortunately, the yellow is 1 to 20 minutes from sunrise to school start time.
Okay.
The brownish color is 0 minutes or less. So that means we're already starting school before sunrise.
Okay.
That's for high school. Elementary school, I did orange as the 20 minutes to
Okay.
1 to 20 minutes. I adjusted it because those kids, I think, are more vulnerable if they're walking to school. They're little kids walking to
Right.
school in the dark.
Okay.
And this doesn't even take into consideration our kiddos that ride the bus. I did look at bus transportation route times.
Yeah.
Our average elementary route time is 46 minutes. So that means the earlier we go to school, the more likely our kids are
In the dark.
in the dark. So this option B
Yeah.
puts our elementary kids almost an entire month, their school starting before sunrise.
What's the red?
That is them, they have to get to school before sunrise,
Okay.
in the dark. All of the, both option A and option B
Yeah. Okay.
put our kids in more danger than, so I did sunrise and sunset, so there are times where we're getting out of school after sunset.
Yeah.
On some of these, I guess it wasn't after sunset, but it's,
We're pushing it.
we're pushing it.
Yeah, we're pushing it.
And as it is, it's all, you know, we're already in a situation where it's not ideal, but it is where we live, and our geographic area of our district, our kids aren't, their commute to school isn't 5 minutes.
Right.
It's 20 minutes, or, you know, or if they're on the bus, it's 45 minutes.
Right.
Our high schools and junior highs are 56-minute average transportation route time.
Okay.
From the of course, the beginning, very
Right.
first stop, but yeah.
Wow.
So that was my concern. I don't like a schedule that puts our elementary kids walking to school before sunrise for an
Right.
entire month out of the school year.
Yeah.
So it's half of December and half of January, which I understand that we're on Christmas break during that time. I get that.
Yeah.
But there's still days.
Yeah.
So
Well, thank you for this information.
Trustee Bain, I just want you to know, we had a committee, we had a subcommittee and worked through it. Transportation, because we are the second largest transporting area in Idaho, is kind of a bugaboo for us. And we have Hauser Loop, and over by Athol, we have another loop, and basically it takes 60 minutes to run that loop, and that's really our issue. Trust me, the committee really wanted to cut it down, and in conversations with transportation and Jessica, we feel like if there's any way to cut these times down, we could be very close to what we currently get out. 7:30 is what I think we started at 7:35 is what we start at the high school, so it's basically 5 minutes earlier. Obviously, it's 3:45 is definitely later. There's no question about that. So, and again, the calendar and the instructional minutes are connected. If you want shorter days, you have to increase more calendars. And from the feedback that we got, one of the hard no's for students was the 2 weeks before Labor Day. So as I explained in my update. So our hope is that we can find a way. Jessica, obviously we have her department, the transportation department, so we can try to, any kind of savings. This would be the worst case scenario. Our hope is that we could trim it down to address your concern, which are what are many parents' concerns too. So just know that we're trying when it comes to that. And thank you for that observation and your information.
Say something, could you just come up and talk to?
No.
Okay.
Public input time was at the beginning of the meeting.
Oh, was it? Okay,
Yeah.
I was confused. Sorry. Okay.
That's okay.
Sorry about that yet.
My concern is we have 4,527 students.
Actually, I sent 5,640 emails out.
Okay, well, we have 4,000, well, this is what the website, 4,527, 556 student voted.
Yep.
That is nothing. Parents, about 10,000, only 1,600 voted.
On the parents, we sent 5,064 emails. That's what we had as parent contacts. We made multiple tries and to get information out. Did a statistical analysis of it all. I took stats, and you look at a population, and you can get a certain amount of participation, and you can get a pretty good guess, 95% at this point. If you get over 750 parents, and we had over, 1,600, we can pretty much guess plus or minus 2. If we were asked each parent, out of 10, 6 would say, yes, let's give it a try. The other 40% would say no. So I'm just trying to honor the 60% that said, hey, look, can we at least talk about this? And that's why even the discussion even began in the first place, just know that.
Yep.
So I get what you're saying too, but I'm trying to represent both sides in that sense. But statistically, we had more than plenty to meet that 95% competency level, which I gave you that information. And plus minus 2 is pretty good. I mean, so we can gather either it's 62 or one way or 58 the other way. So.
Dave, only 9th through 11th grade were
Yeah.
given
Oh,
the
okay.
survey
We don't
of
have
students.
they're graduating. So. Thank you, trustees.
So we didn't consider the 7th and 8th graders?
It was talked about. The committee agreed that they thought 9th through 11th grade would be, because they are young adults, and I'm not saying that those grade levels don't have as much thought into this, but we felt like since we're really close to being 18 and young adults, we felt like they would give us the most amount of information, most pertinent amount of information. And they did. They said they voted, 40% voted for it, and only 60% voted against it, I should say. And they made it very clear their concerns were the early morning, because we initially sent out the calendar, said 7:15. They asked to back it up to where we currently are, which we did. As the committee, we made that adjustment to 7:30. But obviously that means they're going to get out later in the day because it's connected like that. So we've tried to adjust, and then we pulled back another week. We're starting about the same time we started this year. Unfortunately, Labor Day falls really late for us. So that kind of creates its own problem there. So just know that. So we've tried to be responsive to the students, who I really feel should have a voice, and a lot of them made it very clear that we need to listen. We cannot make this shift any later. When it comes to Labor Day, we run into the problem of graduation and instructional minutes for our seniors. So that's the reason why we can't shift it any later, as I explained to parents. So. Committee's done a lot of work. We had a lot of people involved in this. We had a lot of opinions, voices, and obviously we put out surveys. We've got as much feedback as we can. Last year, 67% of our parents said, hey, look, can we at least take a, actually they voted for it. This year we wanted to be more transparent. We showed them the worst case scenario when it came to the calendar. We showed them the worst case scenario when it came to the bell schedule. And then from there, the committee came back to the table with the information, and we adjusted accordingly as much as we could. And Chairman Thompson, I think you said it well, you're not going to make everyone happy. So.
What are we doing for daycare?
Daycare, Jess is still on the phone, but we're looking at base to provide daycare. In previous districts I've worked at, because we've freed up staff, a lot of those staff earn extra money. Will sometimes take on childcare or just take in the kids, just because we're a close-knit family. So our hope is hoping, well, the base we can guarantee, but obviously we'd have to do sign-ups and determine the amount of kiddos that we would have, and then to establish those base camps accordingly per the interest.
So why is it we couldn't go one more week into June?
Seniors graduate, we obviously New Life, we contract with them in regards to graduation. They book out their facilities for almost 10 years, that's what I was told. I did have Mr. Evelyn check with him, he's kind of our contact. I think Post Falls is adding into it, Mr. Evelyn, you can speak to it too if you want to, but we did contact them. They said basically the first week, the 7th and 8th, or 8th and 9th, I might get it wrong there, we're locked in, and unless we wanted to move from that facility, which I gather we don't, because it's a beautiful facility, and our parents and our students really truly enjoy it.
So we can't alter the schedule because of where we hold graduation? That's
Well,
what you're
it's
saying?
because we won't have our instructional minutes, they'll get out too late, because now...
No, but what you're saying is because of where we hold graduation, we can't alter the calendar, because we could add more days for instructional time, but then we wouldn't have the same facility for where we hold the graduation.
Yes.
That's
yes.
the only reason.
Well, no, the biggest reason is if we pushed it back another week, seniors would not meet their instructional minutes. That's the number one reason. The secondary reason, if they graduate on the 8th and 9th at that facility.
Well, okay.
If you push it back another week.
That doesn't make sense. If you eliminate the location for graduation as an issue,
Okay.
Michelle's asking why can't you move it further into June? Move the end of the year further into
You
June.
can, absolutely. If we eliminate the facility that we're going to use that we're booked at on the 8th.
But you
and
said it's two reasons. You said it's that and that seniors wouldn't meet the instructional minutes.
So if we graduate them on the 8th and 9th and we push back another week, they would not have the instructional minutes to meet the graduation requirement.
So it's only because of the location.
Correct.
Well, it's the time too. You're absolutely right. If we could move it to a later time, which we did check, you're right. We could fit it. We could push it another week down. Which is what we wanted to do.
We're already having boiler issues at our schools. Our schools are not built to be in school in August.
It's true.
For kids to be in our schools in August. So,
Well, especially John Brown. I mean, good Lord.
none of our schools have AC.
Yeah. I mean, having them go in September is risky sometimes.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Most adults can't even handle a 10-hour workday. I just don't understand
Oh,
the justification of asking our kids to do it.
Another problem is my wife's the HR director, now these kids are getting out of high school and they're going, what do you mean I have to work for 5 days? You know, so I don't know.
Kids thrive on routine. That calendar, I'm sorry, is
We try to make it as consistent as possible.
Is there any consideration for kindergarten?
Yeah, absolutely. We have.
There's no extra time set up for kindergarten, so the assumption is that they would run on the exact same elementary schedule?
Right, well, I meant, when you meant consideration, it was a discussion. Chairman Thompson, we had elementary principals in the room, and they were concerned too, so. But, again, I'm gonna quote you, you said that can't make everyone happy, we're just trying to do the best we can.
Well, there's study after study after study that
And,
shows specifically for kindergarten,
Right.
there is no benefit for this long, elaborate day in the world of elementary land.
Right.
And I respect the fact that I've had elementary principals talk about the fact that there is, half day is herding cats. So the full day, you're actually introducing the educational principles that they want to introduce. But there's no way I can support a 5-year-old going for this duration, there has to be a compromise, specifically for kindergarten. I mean, I don't get why we can't, I mean, we're only funded on a half day, even though we push them for a full
Yes,
day.
absolutely.
So why don't we find the compromise of being like, you know, go a little longer than halftime, but let's not
Yeah,
crank it out to
yeah.
the full extent. Because it's just, it's not productive
Yeah,
for the little people.
And I appreciate that comment and that recommendation, I do. And could we take a really good look at it? Yeah, absolutely. And also I want to comment on the B schedule. That was in support of research. We were trying to flip it where research supports elementary being in the morning. They're obviously they're earlier risers than our high school students. So that's why B came about, is the committee, elementary teachers mainly, wanted us to take a serious look at this, flipping the two. And I agree too, Chairman Mayor, that it is early in the morning, but we wanted to at least present it to you guys as an option.
Also, Post Falls School District figured out that it didn't really work very well for shifting the weeks that have Monday holidays and going to school on Fridays.
The issue with that, it was that, again, we run into the transportation. Post Falls, and again, don't hold me 100% correctly, but I think their transportation area is only 85 miles versus our 400 miles. That's the issue. They have a little bit more flexibility when it comes to transportation. Trust me, I would love to shrink it down, absolutely. And I'm not putting it, well, yeah, transportation is just have a lot of space, a lot of miles to cover. That's our issue. If we could shrink it down, we absolutely would do it. And we're still going to try to work to see if we can. But this would be the worst case scenario that we're presenting right now when it comes to our health schedules.
I guess I just don't, I still am not convinced that this is right for our district. Nothing, any that's been presented has changed my mind. It's no secret, I'm against the 4-day.
I understand that, and that's fine. I just know that, again, we answered to two sets of parents, and 61% in this particular survey said, hey, look, we'd like to at least give it a shot, and then read and adjust. And then the other 40% too, I understand we have to consider their aspects, which are very in line with what yours are. So
I think the people that are for it, their reasoning for wanting it is, it would be nice to have Fridays off. I think the people that have concerns, those concerns hit me a lot deeper than I guess I don't understand pushing this so hard.
it was only pushed not through me, it's pushed because I had parents approach me and say, look, I thought this would be a good option for us to try. And they want to be heard too. And so that's what we did. And then they talked about, they listed it honestly, one of the highest performing districts, schools is on a 40-week and they're in Rathrum. And then Post Falls has had very good success with their academics. One of the things that they talked about was family time, reset time for students and staff, having the opportunity for family appointments.
Family time if the parents have Fridays off.
Right.
But if their parents don't have Fridays off, they get even less time because their kids are at school for longer.
Right. And
So
I'm telling you I'm just reporting what they told me, okay? I'm pulling right from the data, okay? I'm not saying that's Rusty's opinion, that's our parents that are speaking to us. They talk about opportunity for family appointments, but more importantly, what I'm really concerned about on our side is their professional development. Right now, we have 1 day dedicated to our professional development. If we were to make this change, we'd have 11 days to work with our teachers and make them better teachers. Our classified staff, make sure that they're more trained. It produces a better result in the long run. And then the opportunity, the time to actually sit down and have a conversation about data and think outside the box. Again, this is something that I'm asking to try, it would be a pilot, and by all means, a lot of people say you can't go back. By all means, if you guys choose to go back, if we didn't produce the data that we wanted out of this, or the results that we wanted, it would be an easy switch, not easy, but it would be a switch back that we could do, and that's why I'm calling this a pilot.
How will this type of a schedule impact our classified staff? Because we're removing them from a full-time staff. They're not on contracts like the teachers.
It was on their data, they were very explicit about that information, and Brooke has also obviously advocated multiple times. We were very upfront with it. We're going to reduce their hours, but what we're trying to do is find other ways to work them, because when it comes to the savings part, I don't want to get too much in that world. There's too many.
Well, actually, I think you should.
Okay, by all means. I just know last year it was presented and it wasn't formally accepted, so let's go there. So the savings comes from transportation. The savings comes from food service. Those are the two big areas that we save, and we cross our fingers, hope that Tim monitors all the heat and everything like that, and we can also cut down a little bit on that. But that's not a guarantee by any means. So that's what we're looking at when it comes to those savings. Is those key areas. When it comes to the classified staff, our hope is that we can. Dave talked about childcare, where those people could make up their hours and work additional time in our base programs. Another thing we were hoping for, and Tim will tell you too, is custodial staff. We can't find custodial staff. One of the major things with this cut is, and the head custodians, we've met with them, Jake and I, we talked about deep cleaning. They're really concerned about that. Fridays would give us a great opportunity for those staff that would want to work on a Friday to come in and deep clean those facilities. I know our head custodians would be very thankful for the additional help. So again, they could make up those hours. We want to hold them as close to the hours that they make right now as we can. Obviously, the big thing with a lot of our classified staff is the benefits. We want to make sure that we meet their benefit threshold, 30 hours or 32 hours. And then if or flex it, and that might have to be a policy change. There's some work to be done here. There definitely is, but it's our sole purpose. And Jessica, I'm going to speak for her, and Brooke, we've talked about, if this is going to be something that we're going to do, this is something that we're going to make sure we do it right. We're going to make sure we take care of our classified, because they are the glue that holds us together. And I've promised them that we're going to do our very best to absolutely hold them as close to what they make right now.
So do you have a plan for the classified, other than hoping that they clean classrooms or hoping that they do the base program?
It's not hoping, that's the opportunities that they have. When it comes to bus drivers, we're hoping they would have the opportunity to be more time for them to do routes, athletic routes, so they could earn some extra money in that.
But the athletic routes aren't changing, because the athletic schedule is what it is. That's not going to.
But they would free up their schedule in that sense and have the opportunity, if they had an open schedule.
I don't think it would open their schedule at all, because if kids are still needing to be bused home, then they're busing them home and not taking.
So this would be a long-term plan. So one of the things that we look at is, and again, this is something that can happen this year, but hopefully if it would work out, we would do a pilot program, is that where we would try to make sure that all our long trips are on Fridays and Saturdays, where they could pick up extra minutes. But obviously we're a year away from that, 2 years away from that, because the athletic schedule is basically already locked in at this point in time. But to go back to your question, yes, we've thought about it, and it's not about hope. We're going to need a base program. Mr. Quimby talked about it already. He says, what are we going to do with childcare? It was the #1 concern from parents, and we want to address that. And we want to get the data and figure out who are the kids who needs that support.
What's going to be the cost generated to run base programs at
our hope is that it's we run it with the same principle, zero cost. There would be a charge, and again, Jessica can speak to that. I think it'd be $35 for
Well, it does cost to go into base, it's just,
Right.
it supports itself.
Supports itself, yeah, zero.
So not to say that it doesn't cost anything, because it does.
No, we're not looking at a specific hit on the M&O budget is what we're trying to do.
It will
It
not
would
be
need to be
profitable.
It's
self-sustained.
not gonna, we're not gonna make money from it, but we're hopefully and again, I can't 100% give it to you, but our idea is that it would not impact our M&O at all. It would pay for itself.
What about students on IEPs or with special services that we are required to provide?
Good
If
question.
they're not in school on Fridays, does that mean we're sending people into in-home services?
You do an addendum to the IEP, and you would have to adjust some minutes when it comes to their special services. That's what it would look like. Yep. And again, we've done this transition I've done it at 3 different schools, and we've met those IEP needs.
That's where it's at.
Another thing that I mentioned in here, and I'm concerned because we talked about a vision for the future. I'm definitely concerned about the state of our state when it comes to financials. There's been multiple projections, you guys know this, numbers they've talked about, and again, Jess can chime in if she wants to, but between 3 and 10% it could be for cuts. With a 4-day week, again, there is some savings, and our hope is that we could sustain what we have and not cut anymore if we would move to a 4-day week. That's our hope, but I can't guarantee those financial savings, obviously, but I think it's a very proactive way to go. And again, the bottom line, we won't know until we actually try.
What is the anticipated savings on going to a 4-day school week?
The guesstimation usually is about anywhere from 1% to 2% for most districts. You can look it up. I've done it plus, again.
1% to 2%, that's not even.
For us, it's pretty significant.
What is the dollar amount?
We'll multiply it by $50 million, $500,000, right? That's still a lot of money. And then if they cut us the 1% to 2%, that gives us,
Well, I guess the reason why I'm asking, you're now saying it's up to $500,000. That was not what we were presented with the last time that we were given a 4-day schedule.
I'm telling you, you asked the question, and I'm just going to.
Yeah, I did. I asked the question, what do you think we're going to save? You give me a percentage, not a dollar amount, which makes me question, have we looked at this on a dollar amount level?
Right.
What we were told before was a dollar amount level, and it was not, it was insignificant given everything that we're looking at. We're looking at damaging relationships.
Yep.
This is, how can we spin this on a positive to say, yes, this is what we want to do?
Because we have a tremendous staff. We've went through a lot of adversity. The data will tell you when it comes to instruction, a 4-day week. Schools that do a 5-day week, when it comes to their instruction, their commitment to kids, and just the overall success of their district, they do 4-day weeks just as well. And this is why the data is the way it is. The districts that moved from a 5-day week to a 4-day week and think that that's going to improve them, that's not the case. I'm trying to tell you that I really feel with all my heart, knowing our administration, knowing our teachers, knowing our board, I think if we commit to this, we're going to be very good at it. And I think we're going to be very good at it because we have PD that's built in that's going to, that's going to make our teachers even better than they already are, and our classified staff. I feel like when it comes to retention, there's a component in there. It'll retain the teachers that we have and help us to recruit teachers that we will need. We already have a lot of teachers that are retiring, not this year, but projected to retire. And this is, in talking to the district Post Falls, it was their why. They were losing so many teachers. They would lose about 75 teachers, and now that is all, I think they lost 12 teachers last year. There's a lot of benefits in regards to happy staff, a better quality of teacher. They're going to do a better job. There's 2 things you can do to really keep people where you're at. Number one, you pay them what they're worth, if you can do that. And number two is that you create an environment they feel relaxed and they feel supported in, but also will do obviously do what they have to do when it comes to it. And our hope is with a 4-day week, and all the research says it, plus I've been a part of it, I've seen these changes. I've seen less pressure. I've seen teachers more opportunity to plan. I've seen better PD. I've seen kids, because they are resilient, that have bounced back or not bounced back, or continued their academic growth because they have time with their family. They have, so. There was one other part, and I put it on there. The last thing I listed was student attendance. It has a tendency, and our attendance is really good at 95%. But our hope is, and it's not all district cases. We looked at Bonner's. It has not been the product of their 4-day week. But I think that, again, it comes down to policy. And I think that comes down to our procedures in regards to holding kids accountable when it comes to coming to school. But Palos Falls has seen a 1 to 2%, so that could generate some more revenue, obviously with the ADM. And more importantly, what I'm trying to do is avoid cuts. I don't want cuts. I mean, you guys went through that last year. I've seen the emotional stress it's put on our staff, and if this gives even just a little less wiggle room, and I can't guarantee it 100% until we give it a shot, I think that's the vision that you want me to have, that you want our principals, our directors to have. We're trying to be proactive. We're not sitting around and just twiddling our thumbs and waiting for things to hit us in the face. Unless I have any more questions, I'll just leave it at this. I understand you have concerns, but I guess what I'm asking for is if you have ideas, what would change your mind, we're listening. We want to create the best option for our students, and I really appreciate the board's input on this. Just know we've done a lot of work, and I understand this is a big decision, and a lot of people are going to come to you guys and ask questions. And hopefully I've provided you with a lot of answers.
This time.
Do we need to have any further discussion?
No.
Dave?
Thank you, board, for listening. I truly appreciate it.
All right, the final item for discussion with potential action is I would like to have the clerk attend the district leadership team meetings to allow her to have a better perspective, pulse on the district as a whole. I do think if it is district leadership, she is a leader. I mean, the clerk is always, should be considered part of the leadership. And so I had wanted to ask her to do that, but I felt it would be better as a board directive, not a me directive.
Well, it would give her the opportunity to kind of build those relationships with those people that she's gonna be asking for
Absolutely.
information
Right.
from and for
Right.
our meetings, so.
Right. So I don't know if we want to make a motion. I did mention it to Mr. Taylor, and he didn't have a problem with the clerk attending. So I would, if we just take action on it, then it's kind of formalized. And so I move that we would assign the clerk's duties to include attending district leadership meetings.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. We do have dates to remember: executive session, long-range planning. Policy committee is not going to be on the 16th because we did just schedule a student hearing, and the regular board meeting on the 18th. Are there any other items to be put for future agenda items? That was like said all wrong, but y'all get what I'm saying. Anything?
No.
All right. So on that note, I do need a motion to enter into executive session pursuant to Idaho Code 74206.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We do need a roll call vote.
Trustee Bain?
Yes.
Trustee Brackett? Trustee Thompson?
Yes.
Trustee Quimby?
Yes.
Okay, so on that note, we are in executive session. We can take a 5-minute recess and then get to it.
Okay.
We have to open the doors.
Yeah, I got the other one, Jay.
Oh, there's all those people standing out there waiting to come in.
The hordes. We've actually had that happen before, just so you know. It's usually when we do this at 6. Are we recording? Oh, goody. All right, so we're coming out of executive session. There is no action to be taken. It is 10:54 and meeting's adjourned. I got to bang the stick.